In this video help, we're going to be covering some of these general portals through here, down through the screen. We're looking at to start with, the invitation portal. Now we're going to move through these fairly quick because we've already learned how to use both portals and list views. So we're just going to be explaining the usage and information that's included in these screens. So the portal, if you go over to the create data page for in here, you're going to see that the invitation list portal is also on this screen and on the navigation menu. There's also the hotel reservations, hotel websites, photo portals, and so forth down through the listing. Now we'll go down to the wedding part of data, and then we'll go take a separate thing for the wedding websites and for the decorations. So let's go ahead and go through this. Let's start with the invitations. The invitations are generated on this screen, and then the portal itself is where they are stored. Each time you do an individual record here, it creates a new record in the portal. You can see that there's actually 1, 2, and 3 records here, and then the next available record would be the one you would start editing that was added as soon as you added the last record. The information in this screen on here will show you the individual invited name, the type of the invite, and the number of invited and the invite sent. Basically, each individual, both in the wedding party and all the people that you invite to the wedding, would be listed here. And you'd probably want to start out with the people that are actually in the wedding party so that they're easy to find and easy to put in. And then as each person that you want to invite after that is created, you can also confirm that they actually are confirmed, or for whatever you want to put in the RSVP, like Jim confirmed it, or there was a phone call or something that was made that states that the person is actually going to come, and or how many people are going to come. For example, in this case, we invited one person, and one person is coming, and it's an adult. And then in the next record, you see 4 people were invited, and all 4 of them will be attending. And there are 2 and 2 adults and 2 children. So if I pop over here to the portal, which is what we want to see, we'll see the matching information and also a notes field. And the notes field is important because if there's anything that you need to narrate and put into this area, you can do that. On the iPhone, for example, it's kind of interesting. Most people don't realize this, but when you pop up the keyboard, the keyboard also includes a little microphone. And when you put it up here and you start the microphone going, you can actually narrate right into this field and add information. If you're doing that, for example, you could say something like, Bill Jones said he was coming, period. Then you'd go to the next thing and next sentence and either question mark, period, or whatever, exclamation, whatever you want to have in there, it'll add it. If you have already got data in there, you want to go down and add more, you just click over here underneath of it and then add some more. And this is true of all the different portals that you're working in. Let's pull this down, and now we'll go from here. We'll go into the invitation list view, and this is the invitation portal. So let's go into list view. Looks very similar to what we're looking at as far as the records in the portal itself, but in this case it's going to list all the weddings, different weddings, and it's going to have the information for all the people that have come here, and then the information of who's going to attend, and down at the bottom you're going to see the calculations for attending number, adults, and the number of children. And if you want to do a find, as we always talked about over here, you can just start a search based on any of the information in any one of the fields that you want to look for by the subject that you're looking for. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the next one. The next one is the hotel reservations, which is also included on the wedding portal. And hotel reservations, why would you have hotel reservations? Well, when we created the application, we were creating things that would be useful depending upon a wedding, and every wedding is different. So what we've done in this case, maybe you live in a small town or a large city and people are asking questions about different rooms and availability. What you can do is you can put in close to where your wedding is all the different hotels that are available and information that backs it up. And what that would be is the name of the hotel, the address where it's at, city, state, a zip code or postal, the type of rooms that are available, the arrival dates and depart dates that are available. And you can copy and paste any text from that website into here. And if you want to, if they have an image on that website, you can do the typical thing we do here, where you can replace the picture that I put in here or add an image from the website here so people can see what the hotel actually looks like. There's only an individual picture in this one. And over here you'll see the hotel name URL. And what this is if you click on this, it'll take you to the website. And what I've done is I've copied the website URL from the URL field at the top of the website screen and pasted it in here so that if you click on this, it's going to open up this website to the specific information for this hotel. Now this is true for all the different hotels. Now, if you have people coming in and they're looking for a hotel or whatever, you can have all that information there as a planner that you can ask people or answer their questions. Or if you're an individual within the wedding party and you want to have this database to use, you can have all this information at your fingertips. If you're working hand in hand with your planner and your planner is supporting you and may have actually given you a copy of this application as a gift, then you have all that information you can add in and discuss or add and help those people that you're working with to come to the wedding. Let's go ahead and pop up through here, and we're going to go to the back to the portal. If I click anywhere off of here, I can go up here and I can go to the invitation list view, and you'll see in the list view, I was supposed to go to hotel. Let's go one more time. Let's go to hotel list view, and now each hotel that's in here would be listed, and you can go down through them, and if people want to know more about what's available, you can say, for example, people may say, well, I like Holiday Inn Express, and there may be one or two or three Holiday Inn Expresses depending upon the size of the city, maybe a Hyatt or maybe another hotel chain that they're interested in. You have all the information available here, plus a link that you can paste and send to them right from this particular link. Okay, let's go to the next item in the list. Let's go back up here, and we've done an invitation hotel and hotel website. And the hotel website by itself, this is kind of interesting. What you can do in here is you can go ahead and create a drop-down search list based on the URL of the particular hotel. And the way this works, this is actually a link to the add list. If you click on this, you can say add a new record. You can put the information for the hotel and paste in the actual website. And what it'll do is it'll fill out this information that is added to the drop-down list in the hotel websites. So let's go over there and look at that. The hotel websites, we'll go back here to the main screen, hotel websites. In here, once you're back in this screen and you click on this, what it's going to do, it's going to bring up the narrative name of the hotels that are available throughout the area. And it's a good idea to put in the city and maybe a little bit more information as far as, for example, this is the airport hotel. Now, I just threw some generic stuff in here. If you wanted to, you could add more information as far as the street or something like that in there, and it'll just kind of spread across here. But when you click on something like this, you'll see when I click on it, and you wait just a second, you'll see that what it does is it changes from the name here to put the URL in there for the actual hotel, and then it brings up the actual thing like Hyatt Hotels and the information for your dates that you might want to be in there. And also, if you scroll through it, you can see the information for the listings and information about different hotels. Now, if you had a specific hotel in mind that most of the people want to stay at, for example, I threw a record in here where it says Holiday Inns, and in this case, this one is a specific one, and this is the general for all hotels, and you can use it for any city and any location. So that would be the general, and the same thing with the Hyatt. So you can have one or the other. Okay, let's go on to the next thing, which is the list view for the, well, we did hotel list views already. Now the next one we're going to do is the photo portal. And the photo portal is actually the individual photo record in the portal, and it shows you the bride's wedding day and the date that it's taken, and you can put a description in here that is the description of what the image is about and what it's for. And if you go back to the wedding couple data, you'll see that the photo portal is right here, and it's actually where you can add multiple images into the database here. You can see if you scroll, you can put as many images in there as you want for that particular wedding, and they would all be available in the wedding area here. And if I click off this, I can go to the wedding portal list view, right there. And you'll see there's a small image for each one of these and some information about each one. And you can click this right here to go back in and actually see the individual records as far as the portals are concerned. So let's go to the next thing, which is the rehearsal table. And we're going to go back here, and you've got rehearsal table, assignment, and reception table. Both of those are where you're actually assigning, and I'm just going to look at one of them to show you. It's a listing where you put the name, the table, the seating time, and in this case it's rehearsal notes. And if you go to the portal record, you'll see that that same information is here, and you can add the notes. Maybe there's a specific time or a certain situation that is related to the rehearsal and also the reception where you want to add notes to it. And that is the same for both the rehearsal and reception information. And then, of course, there's a list view for each one of them. Let's take the rehearsal and look at it. It's basically a lookup. It has the name of the person, the record ID, the table, and the time that people are supposed to be seated at the rehearsal or at the reception. And, of course, it goes back to the portal for whatever record you're actually working in. Okay, let's navigate to the next thing, which is the wedding location portal. Now, this is kind of interesting. When you're looking for a place for the wedding, you may have a specific place in mind, and you would put that information in this portal. But if you're looking for maybe a number of different places where you want the information for example, you go to the say it's a chapel, and you go to the chapel, you talk to the people, and they have a capacity for 130, yet you have a room where you need a capacity of 200. That's not going to work. So you need to go to another location and keep going through, and then you're looking at the estimated cost to use that chapel or wedding location and see what the expense is for that. That's something you would add to your cost as far as your cost management, and keep track of that. And the other part of it is a list view. And for example, this is reusable information. Obviously, if you're going through and you're doing a location, and maybe it's in your same city or local area, this now starts to become a thing where you can look at different offerings for people to go to different chapels and stuff like that, especially if it's the first time anybody in that area has tried to pull off a wedding in that area, and you would have all that information listed here for all the different locations, the costs, and then you can check with those places to see if you can actually get the date and time that you're looking for, and then add your notes in here. Then we've done the wedding chapel. Now we've done the location, the wedding meal planning. Now this is going to take a couple of different steps. The meal planning portal is where you actually create a meal ID, the meal options by what the name is, and the meal event. And this would be for reception, for example. Now, you pick the actual wedding as far as the record when you create the meal information within the actual wedding screen in the couple's data screen. And this is the record that is created on this side. And this is for creating meal plans for the wedding. Who wants what, in other words. So if I go back into the data over here and I look at the particular person's information for the meal plan, I would go in here and I'd have this, which is each individual picked from the drop down here would be the information for each individual that's going to be at either the reception or the rehearsal, or any event that you may have where they're going to actually have a meal at that, and how you are going to order it and what the particular cost is. So, and you have, if you click on this link right here, it'll take you to a screen where you can create the meal option that is in the drop down. So in the meal option, one of the things I'll point out here, it's a very good idea if you're going to do this that you put something in here about what wedding it is. Like you might want to put Joan's wedding and then chicken dish, because as you're going through here and creating these options, you have to keep track of what the cost was going to be, and is it a different location where there's going to be a different type of a meal, and also if you're there, like if it's the wedding reception, are there going to be drinks or open bar or whatever, and that kind of information would go in here. And then what if you're doing like a collecting for that particular thing, you would have the individual cost by person, and this is what this person should be paying for it. Now, as far as if the reception is booked and the planner is setting it up and she's taken in the cost and individual information for each person, that's stuff that goes in the cost management as a billable item for each person, that as they bring in the reception or rehearsal confirmation and the meals that they're going to have, that would also go into your cost management, so you could charge it back through the wedding party back to your planner information. Now there is also, as you see it here, there's a little a meal ID portal, and that's the one where you're actually creating the individual meals and the plans for them. And for example, the meal option might be a chicken dinner with gravy and for Smith & Jones wedding. Okay? And it might be Smith & Jones reception or whatever you want. This is a place for you to ad lib, be creative as far as how you're managing this particular wedding and the information for it. And that would be the meal option, so to speak, where people would pick it from. But the actual meal planner is the one where the cost goes and is showing the actual information for the meal plan. Okay, and of course there's a list view, and the list view actually shows the meal option, 1, 2, 3, 4, which one of these are actually going to be picked and what wedding they're for. You'll see here in this case, this is the second wedding test, and these are all for the Smith & Jones. There only may be 3, 4, 5 options for this wedding, so it makes it fairly simple to create them for that wedding and then move on through them as far as the meal options are concerned. And you'll see that in this case, the meal event is either the reception. In this case, I put something kind of oddball. There was a fishing trip, and the fishing trip was supposed to be something where you're maybe doing box lunches or something like that for the grooms that are going to go out fishing, or maybe some of the people in the wedding party. And to go to the portal, you'll see that the information is where we came from as far as this information is concerned. Okay, let's go down to we did the wedding party. Now what this is a screen where we're designating what each person in the wedding party does. Let's go back to the wedding data over here, and you've got the wedding party data here. The wedding party data is who is playing a part in the wedding from the wedding party. The groom, the groomsmen, the people that are carrying the rings, whoever is a principal person in the actual wedding reception process as far as performing it and so forth. This is the thing that tells the wedding planner who they are, and there's an alternate in here in case they don't, say for example somebody gets sick or whatever and can't make it. You can have the accepted, but you also should have an alternate in case something happens to the person that was supposed to come and either they didn't make it on time or they missed a flight or whatever. You'd have an alternate for that person. So this is just good planning what we're going through here. Let's go back up one and show you this. This is the meal wedding. I've covered this in one of the prior videos, and basically what this does, this works hand in hand with the meal plan and also the meal options, where you actually have information about that particular dish in case people are asking questions and want to know more about that meal dish. And you can have it, say for example, the hotel, restaurant, or someplace where you're doing the reception, or the caterer can have individual pictures that they can offer for this to put them in here. Now what these are nice for is if you put information about the actual dish, you can add this to the information on an email, for example, or emails. Somebody says, well, do you have a steak or a chicken dinner? Well, what is included? And maybe somebody has a dietary limitation, say for the amount of sodium in the meal or something like that. You can have all that information in there, and you can simply copy and paste this and copy and paste this and send it in an email to the individual that is asking the questions. Or maybe the groom or bride want to send it to certain people, and or make it an additional thing that they're sending out to each of the individuals that are accepting the invitations. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to the last thing over here. And let's go back to up here to the couple data. In this case, let's go back to main and couple data. And we'll see down here that the next thing we're going to be covering is the wedding websites. And then we're going to go to the decorations portal. And then we're going to conclude the entire presentation of videos for tutorials. Thank you.